Hey everyone, it's Wade Franson. I'm back in the studio to record the sneak peek for this Sunday morning's 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, Created in the Image of God show with a returning guest who's focused on what the Bahá'í writings say about independent investigation of truth and how we should approach the media. And Mehrtash Olson is his name, and he's given lectures now and presentations within the Baha'i community to groups of uh, scholars for Baha'i studies and so on. So welcome back to the studio, Mehrtash.
Hi, Wade. Thanks for having me.
And it's a pleasure to have you. Boy, have things changed in the media landscape in the last couple of months since we talked to you. Your work seems more relevant than ever. Are you getting that sense yourself of how important it is, what you've been focusing on and what you're unpacking here?
I would agree with that. I feel like it's so important for people to understand that there are all sorts of filters applied to the information that we receive, and that it's very important for us to seek out independent sources of information that can give us a more accurate picture of facts as they play out across the world, and to understand that there are powerful vested interests that put information in front of us. They're willing to bear the cost of that because they understand that they are creating a certain vision of the world, a certain interpretation of current events that benefits them. And we should understand that sometimes there's quite a gap between that and reality.
Well, in the Baha'i faith, for those who don't know, in this sneak peek, as we send it out to make people aware of this show and get them to tune in, is the most recent, you might say, Abrahamic religion, right? Tracing its roots back to Abraham, just like the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims. But with the additional recognition of not only are we one family in Abraham, that prophet founder who was told by God, I will make you the father of many nations. And implicit in that was also many religions. But what's unique is that the Baha'is also have a theology that allows them to embrace Hinduism and Buddhism and recognize that all these messengers are from God, and that this is just the latest in a long line of messengers bringing an update, a reboot, a new software upgrade to the theological and the spiritual understanding of our species, the medicine for this day. And in that context, this second hidden word of Baha'u'llah that says, the best beloved of all things in my sight is justice, and focus on it so that I may confide in you, so that through its aid you shall see with thine own eyes and not through the eyes of others, and shalt know of thine own knowledge and not through the knowledge of thy neighbor. To me, I don't know if you see that as a focal point of your work, but the independent investigation of reality, training us to have the ability to sort through the biases and the noise and the appeal of whatever it is they're trying to sell us, so that we cannot be bought and sold by media or the opinions or the ideologies of others, but that we can become independent citizens with the ability to discern good and evil, as Paul said, having exercised our senses to discern good and evil for ourselves with the aid of the Holy Spirit. Do you see your work in that light? And what are some elements of your work that people can learn when they tune in this coming Sunday morning?
That's right. Abdu'l-Baha talks about how important it is for us to comprehend with our own mind, that we're all given this individual endowment and capacity so that we may pursue reality and not to rely on hearsay or the opinions or the perspective of others. And so that's exactly what I'm trying to do with regard to sources of information. A lot of people turn to platforms like, say, Google, and it's got a lot of subsidiary elements there. You have Google Maps and YouTube, and its search function Google search, and so many different things wrapped up under that umbrella. And we've come to kind of accept that in our lives. And sometimes we can turn to those search results and think we're getting just unvarnished fact. And it's important to know that other people have looked into it. And I'll just read you a quotation from Nafiz Ahmed, who is an investigative journalist, who says the following: "The United States intelligence community funded, nurtured, and incubated Google as part of a drive to dominate the world through control of information. Seed funded by the National Security Agency and CIA, Google was merely the first among a plethora of private sector startups co-opted by US intelligence to retain information superiority." We can go into it further, but that's a perspective that the average American internet user wouldn't really have, just thinking about getting search results from the Google search engine. But if you look into the investigations of Dr. Robert Epstein, you'll see that there's lots of behind the scenes curation that goes on with algorithms and and with censorship and with providing you information that vested interests want you to see, and hiding other things that they don't want you to see. It's important to understand that all around us, so many of our experiences with popular media are curated in that fashion.
Well, thank you, Mehrtash. We're going to end this sneak peek there, although I've just decided we're going to actually use the sneak peek as the first segment of the show. So for those of you tuning into the sneak peek, be here next Sunday. For those of you who are seeing this sneak peek as the first segment of our Sunday morning show, stay tuned. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Created in the image of God every Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Eastern, every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. See you there.